Hi. The Camden's complaints procedure is outstandingly bad. It really is bad beyond belief, beyond measurement. Would the candidates be willing to back the destruction of the complaints process as it now exists? It needs to be burnt to the ground, and it needs to be given to somebody who cares. And I would suggest Sainsbury's. Also, I think it's very important that candidates belong to the area. Could each candidate say whether they actually live in the area in which they aspire to represent?
Okay, well, we'll do the complaints issue first. I think actually all the candidates' addresses are on Camden's website, so you can go and look at that. I think it might be easier than everyone going through and giving you... Yeah, okay, show of hands is a good idea, Dan, thank you. If you live in West Hampstead or... You live in West Hampstead or... You live in West Hampstead or Fortune Green wards, can you raise your hands? If you don't, most of you do, if you don't... Yeah, I know some of these are local, but not necessarily the wards. Okay, thank you. Okay, back to the issue. This has to go to Labour, obviously, of complaints. Who wants to take this one on? Richard again.
I was previously a councillor in the south of the borough, and for my sins I was briefly chair of quality and efficiency, and we did try to have a good complaints service. Complaint services are never perfect. I don't know that I'd go so far as to burn everything down, but if it requires a complete overhaul, then that's what it should get. And I remember reading years ago that various senior managers at British Airways said they welcomed complaints, because that's how you know when your service is going wrong and you can make improvements as a result. Obviously, you wouldn't be happy if you get an avalanche of complaints. So yes, I would be happily to, metaphorically, burn it down and rebuild it and ensure it's responsive. Well, they can always bid for it.
Okay, Nick.
Thank you, yes. The complaints process, it's great fun, isn't it? You phone up, you go through to an unnamed number, you get shuttled through a whole variety of different numbers. You finally get through to someone who doesn't actually go and is not able to go and act upon your complaint. Instead, they make a note of it and promise to call you back, and then they call you back. Curious enough, I think after 40 years, near as damn it, running the council, you could have got the complaints department right. It's pathetic.
I'm not sure that was how you were going to fix it, but thank you for the point. Nick, Magnus, do you want to say anything as well? You were trying to catch my eye.
Yes, I'm just puzzled to know exactly, what it is that exactly you think is wrong with the complaints procedure.
Every tiny corner and crumb of it.
Well, okay, you're not being specific enough. When you have a complaint against the council, surely, please, you come to your councillor, don't you? Your councillor is there. You've been elected the councillor to listen.
I deal direct. I was
told
I had to get permission from the person.
I beg your pardon, you're electing a councillor to deal with the matters. The councillor is... Well, I think you're going around it the wrong way, if I may say so. I think what you do, if you have a complaint against the council, you first of all go to the councillor in his surgery, and you talk about the issue there, the specific issue, and the councillor is there to help you sort out your issue. I think that's what the whole job is about.
Okay, I think there's some dissent among the ranks as to what the job of the councillor is. Nick, you may have a different view.
Well, it is undoubtedly true that the complaints procedure is dreadful, and that the 444 number that has been introduced by this administration has given all residents the feeling that there is no accountability, that there's no one they can talk to, that they have no control over their environment. I was councillor in Kentish Town until 2010, and I had a long conversation with Mike Cook, who is now the chief executive, when he was head of organisation development, about the problems of the council's levels of service. My background is as an organisation change consultant. We talked about introducing a right first time programme. That has since been introduced by the council, but it's gone for 4 years, and I can't see any improvement. And I speak as a leaseholder of a Camden council property. It is impossible to find who is accountable, and the root cause of this problem, and we can talk about complaints, but really the root cause is the quality of service that's provided in the first place. We should not be worrying primarily about improving complaints responsiveness. We should be improving the quality of service and getting it right first time. That means that when somebody in a council flat reports a problem in their flat, somebody is set to come and do it, who has the parts, who knows what is to be done, and it can be completed in 1 visit instead of 4. If we could do that, the amount of money we could save on housing repairs would remove all the other problems that we have in meeting the council's budget, and that would be our priority as the Lib Dem administration after the election.
Thank you, Nick. I think there are 2 different types of complaints to the council. There are council tenants and leaseholders who have issues with their buildings generally, and then there are other people who have issues with things like rubbish and fly tipping and the myriad other things.
Can I chip in? Because,
Yes, very brief. If you chip in, Natalie has to chip in if she wants to chip in as well.
This is just about the system. The point is that, yes, somebody comes to see you in your surgery and says, I'm having a dreadful time. It doesn't matter whether it's a repair to the flat issue or whether it's because, let us say, for the sake of argument, the library steps hadn't been repaired, which is Peter. The thing is, they come and complain to you, and you say, yes, that's absolutely dreadful. I will write to the director, and I will write to this, and I will do this. And yes, you get a reply saying, we'll look into it, we'll look into it. 6 months later, even if you've chased it, it is then, by that time, up to... You have to go through the council's complaints procedure. Yeah, I'm saying, but there were you said there were 2 different systems. It's the same system. You end up in the council's complaints procedure. And you have to go through your first level complaint, which goes to the person you're complaining about. And then the second stage goes to the supervisor of the person you're complaining about. And it's only till you get to the third stage that you get a senior complaints officer at the council. And as like as not, they will agree with the other 2. And then, if you're really pushed, you could go to the Ombudsman. But the Ombudsman is likely to agree with the council. And now for housing, they have to go through a councillor to the Ombudsman. And the whole complaint system is geared not to find in favour of the complainant.
Okay, as I let 2 Lib Dems speak, I'm going to 2 Conservatives speak. Natalie, keep it brief, please.
So I completely agree with you. I took a photo of this bridge. It even made Jonathan's weekly roundup. I have used the complaint service. It's still there. Especially given Flick's very detailed narrative of how the complaints process works, it's very clear that what is needed is a top-down, complete reorganisation of the complaints department. If we are elected, or as and when we are elected, we should look to do that, and that's the only way, from what has been said, that can be dealt with.